What I would like to talk about today is also the reason why I didn't upload any videos for quite a while. It's the topic of staying present in daily life without getting overly identified. And by now I've got more responsibility, have a 9-to-5 job, but still I want to have free time, want to go to the gym, meeting with friends, having some time with my family, also dating, but still wanting to stay in touch with spirit and trying to be grounded and aware. And during the last 6 months, I've noticed that this external busy world of working, attaining, and consuming sucked me in a lot of times. And yeah, I feel like that this is quite exhausting. And at the end of the day, I just come home and did not really have time for the amount of spiritual practice that I used to do in the past because I was just exhausted. And maybe that sounds familiar to you. And I know, and also know that you know, that at a certain point in your spiritual practice, you notice that the actual work takes place out there in daily life and not while you're trying to meditate and sitting on your cushion. But at the end of the day, I noticed that it's easier said than being done. And often I found myself just trying to make more money, having a nice career, trying to get bigger, or on the other hand, just feeling exhausted from all this running around and often also not getting what I really wanted, or maybe getting it, but still it's not very fulfilling. And in those moments, I just felt overly identified with my rigid personality and got somehow lost in my ego on this way. And I find it very difficult since society places personality over everything else. So it automatically gets reinforced if you work on it. If I become smarter, or more entertaining, or better at analyzing people, I get positive reinforcement for it, right? But I rarely have moments with other people that we just look into each other's eyes and acknowledge this moment and that we are just present and staying here. And maybe that the other person even notice how much spiritual discipline, nurturing, and trying to stay aware went into all this, that we're able to sit here and having this moment. And eventually, this side doesn't receive that much positive reinforcement, that I get the feeling that staying asleep or overly clinging to my own personality gets simply reinforced. And I think at the end of the day, this does have an influence on me as an individual. And I think that in comparison to the past, when I was having a beard like this, doing my daily meditations, yoga, and feeling deeply connected and rooted in myself, and also connected to others, is that now just the sense of connectedness just got somehow lost. And over the last months, I kind of got frustrated to the point that I also didn't see any point of picking up my old habits of doing meditation. And mostly I was just exhausted after work and numbed myself with food, watching Netflix. But I never really had the time to sit down to meditate. But lately, one day when I came back home from work and when I was organizing something for group therapy, again I caught myself trying to distract myself with any kind of nonsense from what actually is. So I immediately went outside for a walk, and because I was just too tired for meditating, and when I came to a park and sat down, and also my body started to calm down, I was just sitting there and thinking, that's not too bad. Actually, it's quite peaceful, and it was just a little shift in my attention to get behind that exhaustion and boredom, and finally again there was that space, this rootedness and that compassion and this connectedness, however you want to call it. And I could just breathe and be, and it was just a little shift. And I saw that all my patterns of distracting myself from what is were actually costing me much more than they were benefiting myself. And I guess that to realize this is quite something, and also for all the people out there that try to become more present in order to be free. Maybe you know those moments, and I'm just curious, what are you doing in those kind of situations? And just let me know. My name is Till, and this is Till Talk.